All right, all you Move, Think, Smile followers, it's Adam Von Ens and Elliot Fasheron, the founders of Move, Think, Smile, coming to you live today on YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere else around social media where we can get a live stream going here. Because one of the biggest questions we have is, hey guys, how do you build a company that actually has a great impact on this planet? It actually makes this world healthier while having a great income. And so today, what Ellie and I really want to do is we want to kind of like pull back the curtain. We want to uncover the mystery. We want to reveal exactly how we build these things because I think there's a pandemic going on in the health and wellness industry of everybody racing to marketing funnels and lead generation systems and running like mad to get new clients and to do all this kind of stuff. And what we're seeing is that they're using the wrong tool to fix the wrong problem. And Elia, I mean, can you kind of expand on, I mean, what we really did here is, we really created these impact systems to really have a massive impact on people, right? The direct people that we're working with, but while also really having an impact on a health company's sales and profits.
Yeah, I mean, really helping health companies grow. This is, Move, Think, Smile really came out of, how do business owners, how are they able to traverse that landscape of growth? And, I think absolutely, the things that we see are either a lot of people hiring marketing companies to do it for them and then feeling like they get lackluster results, they don't like the results, or they, we've been talking to a lot of people recently that just feel like they don't trust people. They don't trust the marketing companies that they're trying to bring on, even though they feel like it's like what I really need. And that's where, we come in and really help people understand what is it that they do truly need in order to be able to grow. Another thing that I've been hearing, Adam, I just want to share is that I've been hearing that people have started their companies and maybe it was during COVID and they were really busy, or they have this great idea for a company. Oh, I think Adam, maybe I just lost Adam. They have this, oh, there you are. They have this
Yep.
great idea for a company, and they put all the work into putting the company up and then launch and then realize, oh, we should have done some marketing beforehand. And so those are the types of things that, I'm seeing in the space a lot recently. And so, yeah, I just wanted to speak to those. Sorry, I feel like our screen's going in and out. Is that happening to you, Adam?
I am doing that on purpose.
Oh, okay. Thanks. I wasn't sure if we were having a tech issue.
No, we're not having a tech issue. It's called highlighting. It's a new little tool.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's get
Okay.
back. Let's get back to the conversation, and let's first define, Elia, what an impact system is, and first let's start with what it is not.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important that we start with the first thing. And when we're out there, we're talking about business, and we're talking about trying to increase our sales. The first thing that most people jump to in the health and wellness space, and I know this because we get these objections on our ads all the time, is I can't believe you're trying to make it elite. I can't believe that you're trying to make it expensive. It's like there's so many people that need these people's help, but insurance won't pay for a functional practitioner or integrative healer or a health coach or things like that. And I want to really shift everybody's mindsets that this is not about making healthcare elite. It's actually about saving people tens of thousands of dollars. And we're going to highlight this in a little bit, but literally, even if your income, your company is making more money and you're helping people get to the root cause of a physical and emotional and or a mental health and wellness challenge, and you're significantly improving that disease or that dysfunction or that problem, you're literally putting, and these are stats from the Center of Disease Control in Atlanta, $16,750 every year back into that person's pocket, even if they have insurance. So this is actually about saving people money. It's not making about healthcare elite. So that's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
want to I want to stack really quick, Adam, on this because, it strikes me a lot of times too that taking, just because some healthcare providers or health experts are taking small amounts, charging $100 or $50 or 150 or $200, just because it's a small amount doesn't actually mean that you are saving anyone any money, because as those small amounts keep coming out of people's pockets and they're really just not getting the result they want because they're not being consistent or they're not set up for the big win, it's still making healthcare, elite because they're spending money but still not getting the result. And that's a lot of how things are set up or the structure of the business and how it's serving the client. So I think that's really important.
Right, exactly. So healthcare is about managing and mitigating symptoms, right? And they are a for-profit model, and we're capitalism. Everybody's a for-profit model for sure, but they're about getting profit off of people's, I hate to say this, but suffering, right? Off of managing the disease and not actually helping them fix the problem. So that's why impact is not about making healthcare elite. It's actually about saving people money. And when we say impact driven profit system, some people are like, are you SaaS? Are you software as a service? And it's like, no, this is not software. This is not something that you could just subscribe into and just like turn on and all of a sudden these magical things are going to happen. So we really want to make sure that you understand that. It's also it's not a funnel in the box. And Elliot, can you kind of talk about what we're seeing out there? Even our experiences with these whole like done for you funnel in the box is like, hey, just give us a couple grand, or I've even seen it for $97. Hey, give me $97 and I'll give you a funnel.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think, I like to equate a funnel as like an aspirin. It sort of seems like it's going to heal the pain a little bit or the headache a little bit. But the problem is that if you don't have the understanding of what you want your funnel to do or how it should operate, and also have clear expectations about the length of time needed to really make a funnel work for you, then you're going to end up disappointed. And I think this is the toughest thing that we see and where we're up against in this space. Again, is just having that clear expectations around what a funnel can actually do for you and if it is something that you should have or not.
Well, the reason funnel in the boxes we're seeing aren't working is because they're trying to treat every business the same. And it
Yeah.
doesn't honor the bio individual needs of the business. I mean, think about this. Who watching this right now is in the wellness space? Probably most of you. Who right now watch this understands what functional medicine is, or integrative health is, or holistic healing is. What is the primary concept behind those modalities? That is looking at the entire system holistically, right? How the
Mhm.
entire system works as a whole. And then functional and integrative. Functional is all about getting to the root cause of why a problem is happening and then fixing it at the source. And then integrative means using a mix of modalities in order to get the best results in the fastest period of time. So if you go out there and you purchase a funnel in the box, they are completely ignoring all of those concepts. And so you're doing the exact opposite that what you would do with one of your clients or patients. You would treat everybody the same. And that's why we're seeing funnel in the boxes like, hey, we'll give you the 5-minute funnel, or hey, we'll give you the authority funnel, or hey, we'll give you this funnel. They tend to fall flat for a lot of people out there. They tend to just not work well
Yeah.
because one, the health and wellness industry is very different, and two, it does not honor the needs of your business. Elia?
And I think we should also say that, we have a funnel. We build funnels for our clients, but we're very clear about how that process is going to work. We're there to support them all along the way. And so I think, it's not that we think you should never have a funnel, but it's really understanding how to use something that wields that much power.
Exactly. It's not about not having a funnel, it's about having the right funnel,
Yep.
right? We're talking
Yep.
about a funnel in the box, like the done for you service. Like, hey, we'll just build you this, we'll give you an ad, we'll give you a couple things, and blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, all of the leads on the planet and your business is going to be making millions of dollars. I've yet to see that happen. And the last thing impact is it's not some AI, right? It's not some automated bot. We're not out there. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some cool stuff happening with AI, but we're talking about human beings. We are dealing with human beings. We're dealing with health issues. And health issues usually lead to relationship issues and also lead to money and career issues. So by getting to the root cause, you have a major impact on people's lives, not just your career, not just their marriage, but with their health too, by tackling their health. And so impact is really about focusing on a much better prospect, because what we're seeing out there in the industry is that 99% of the health companies are focusing on what we call the magic pill seeker, and they don't even know it. And Elliot, can you tell us a little bit about the magic pill seeker?
Yeah, so the magic pill seeker, we really qualify are people that, again, are just really looking for symptom relief. And they're, if anybody's ever felt like, wow, my clients, my patients just want me to create magic, like just this issue is going to magically disappear. Magic pill seekers typically don't, want to invest a lot in their health. They're often, they come and then they don't come and they're not super committed and they're not doing the things that you're asking them to do. So really the magic pill seeker, and we've probably, we've all been there in some scenario or the other of just like, just fix it, like with the least minimal amount of work from my side, just fix me.
Magic pill seekers are, one, they won't spend more than a few $100s. They often go MIA after a session or two. You can convert some of them into a high value client, meaning like $3,000 to $5,000 over lifetime value, but they are the slowest to convert. You might be able to convert 1% to 3% of them, and usually take 6 to 12 months to do that. But what we're seeing out there is that 99% of the health and wellness industry, and they don't mean to do this, but through their messaging and through their marketing, they're attracting the wrong person. So impact-driven profit systems are all about focusing on a much better prospect, or what we call the impact seeker. And Elliot, can you give us a quick rundown of what an impact seeker is?
Yeah, so the impact seeker is just they're ready and willing to do the work. They're basically at this point where they are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And there is a lot of internal motivation to really do what is ever necessary to fix the problem. And when it comes to diseases of lifestyle, which a lot of our clients work with, people can get to that, end of their kind of rope where they're sick and tired and sick and tired. They can get to that. Sometimes it takes them a couple years to get to that point, but there are absolutely tons of people that are at this point where they realize, okay, I've been in this system where I've been taking the magic pills, but I'm realizing that it's really not impacting my health and it's not really transforming me. And now I'm ready for something different.
Impact seekers are the people who are dead serious about investing in their health. They want transformation. They want it now. They value time over money.
Hmm.
The magic pill seekers value money over time. They're always looking for the deal. They're always looking for the Groupon when it comes to functional medicine. They're looking for the cheap health coaching. And then they do a couple sessions and they never come back. And so the impact seeker is the one who's dead serious. They're the easiest to convert. And that's what impact systems really focus on. And to give you kind of an idea of this overlooked or untapped wellness market that's out there, impact systems are really designed to tap into the 157 million. I want you to write that number down with all the zeros, right? 157,000,000. It's a giant number. It's almost 50% of the people in the United States of America. And these are the people who want wellness, but don't know where to get it because all they see are symptom relief options. This is the amount of people who are stuck in the sickness-based healthcare system, managing and mitigating their symptoms, who really want something different, but they don't see you because most of the people are camouflaging their true value because they sound like another magic pill. That's what we're seeing out there. Now, what's crazy about this 157 million number is that if you look at what it's worth, according to Vision Research, by the year 2030, it's going to be worth $6.75 trillion. That's with a T, not billion, not million, but trillion. That means the opportunity is out there in the people in the wellness space. It may seem like there's a lot of competition, but there really isn't. There really isn't. Now, there are the magic pill companies out there, like a lot of the supplement companies who are just trying to pimp out magic pills. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them are. And that's what they do. They're just trying to do volume, right? Take this, or take this, or go over here, take this, or hey, do this diet, or hey, do this diet. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the real people who want wellness. Elia?
Yeah, and I think I think it's also important to mention that, there's a time and place for that, right? There's a time and place for like just give me a pill, symptom relief. But what we're speaking to again is that different market. It's that market that has tried that route and they're ready for something else. And we know with our experts that again, with the different modalities, you have that ability to help people transform, to help them, see this from a different light and to stop relying on magic pills.
And then the last stat on this slide, and this is also very powerful, and this is coming from places like Forbes and entrepreneur.com, Small Biz Trends, et cetera, is that half of the companies out there, one out of two of you are going to fail in the next 5 years because you're going to become bloated with what we call metabolic business syndrome. And just like metabolic syndrome has the body slowing down, it's not operating at its optimal level. It's still working, but it's going to finally just crap out sooner than it should. Metabolic business syndrome is when the company is bloated with time and cash flow constraints. You're either working in the business because of time and you can't work on the business, or there's just not enough cash flow coming in, or there's cash flow coming in, but the profit margin is not at the level that it could be. And we see this a lot with brick and mortar practices, especially in the realm of functional medicine, where their profit margin is like between 6 to 9%, maybe 10%, maybe 12%. Like it's super low, like it's crazy,
Mhm.
crazy low.
Yep.
And so if you don't change that, you can expect that some things are not going to go the way you want them to in the next 5 years. At least that's what they're predicting. Now, impact, again, impact driven profit systems. And for those of you just joining us, this is all about how we build, design, really flexible impact driven profit systems so you can get out there and make the world healthier while having a great income. So impact, what it does is it uses the right tool. And the myth that the biggest illusion that we see out there in the health and wellness industry is that when your sales and your profits struggle, to go out there and get a better marketing funnel, to get a better lead generation system. And that if you just go and do that, it's going to fix everything. And we know that this is normally, in most cases, for most companies, is the absolutely wrong tool. Now, don't get us wrong. Elle and I firmly believe that marketing is very, very important, but there's so much more because it ignores the by individuality and ignores the other parts of the business. And it's kind of like trying to paint your kitchen with a hammer, right? It's like my kitchen needs paint, so I'm going to go get a hammer to paint my kitchen. That's not going to work very well, is it? So many people are out there, they think, okay, all they need to do is more leads. All I need to do is get better marketing. Yes, it's very important, but there's so much more than the marketing that goes into building the business. Elia?
Yeah, and this goes back to having the skills and the training to really look at what are the diamonds right underneath your feet, where, what tools do you have within your business that will supplement and or complement a funnel, but not just having it be the funnel being the only tool in your toolbox. And so again, it's really looking at how the whole system works together. And when Adam and I work with our clients, we're looking at the structure of a business. We're looking at the messaging, what you're putting out there, the emails that you're sending, the social media posts that you have, the way that you're talking to people that are walking in the door. Then we also look at the marketing piece, which we've been talking a lot about right now. And then we look at how are you selling your services? What's happening there? Because these four components all flow together. If you have a great funnel and you have tons of people coming in your door or in your virtual, business, and you don't have the sales skills to convert them, then the funnel falls flat, right? So it's really important that we're weaving in these four components that really bring a business into the level of growth that it's trying to get to.
And Ella, I think that's really important that you said this, because what we see a lot of times, like, I've just got the wrong leads. The leads that are coming in are just bad. They're just not the right people. And
Mhm.
often not, it's a sales problem. It's an enrollment problem. It's not a marketing problem. And so that's why when people are struggling with sales and profits in health and wellness space, often more times than not, marketing funnel is not the way to go. That's the wrong way. So that's why we designed impact. So if we take a look at further, it's like impact is really, really unique because we took the core concepts of functional, integrative, and holistic health in the wellness space and designed it into a profit system that has massive impact on people's health and on the sales and profit of your company. And first, we call it functional business growth. And we kind of alluded to this earlier, and that is it looks at all the systems of the company. It's like, if your sales are not where they need to be, is it really a marketing problem? And it might be a marketing problem, but what else is going on in there? And I can guarantee you, it is never just a marketing problem. There's always something else going on there. It could be the structure of the offer that you've got going on. It could be the pricing. It could be the way that you're working with your people. It could be the messaging and what you're saying. And I can tell you right now, we see so many people out there actively marketing their company, but their messaging is camouflaging what they're doing. And Elia, what happens when you camouflage what you do?
Yeah, well, you kind of just turn into a commodity or you're in,
Exactly.
awash with everyone else. And
Right. You're a
yes,
commodity. And what happens when you're a commodity?
people price shop.
Yeah, you've got to compete on price.
Yeah.
So would you rather be out there with powerful messaging to attract the impact seeker who's dead serious, who doesn't need to go through a bunch of complicated marketing, who doesn't need lead magnets, who doesn't need challenges, who doesn't need your webinars, who doesn't need any of that stuff and is ready to pay you? Or would you rather have to compete on price?
Mhm.
I think we know the answer. So functional business growth impact is really designed to look at the entire system of how it works and also to honor the bio individuality of your company because it's not a one size fits all thing. You have a different offer. You're a different entrepreneur or salesperson or a marketing person or an employee or a staff or VIP or owner of a health and wellness company. You are different, your company's different, your audience is different, your offer is different. And so if you don't take a functional approach with your company and you go out there and you try to do a one size fits everybody thing, it's probably not going to work. So that's why we designed Impact to be unique. We also call it integrative marketing and sales. And just like integrative medicine, integrative health, it's basically fusing, ancient wellness practices with modern health science. What can we do from both Western-based sickness care and those modalities to help people get over the hump while incorporating other modalities of actually wellness to get them to not have to use the sickness-based modalities anymore? It's what combination of sales and tools are going to help your company the best. That's why it's integrative. And then number three, and Ellie, you can speak to this, it's about empowerment because what's really important with the company?
Yeah, it is that empowerment. It's the understanding the parts and pieces that run your company. And again, I think what we see a lot of times, and even though, we build things and do things for our clients, but if you hire someone where all they're going to do is just do it for you and you bring no questions to the table, or you just pass it off to them and just expect them to create magic, it's kind of like what happens when we give your client or patient a pill and be like, okay, be on your way, hope it all gets better, right? So empowerment is really about you understanding how your systems work for your marketing and having a good solid understanding of how to make this sing, and then you can pass it off to someone else, or then you can have somebody internally take care of this. But we've seen this in our own experience. We've learned this lesson the hard way. We've also seen it with our a lot of the conversations that we have with people, is really being able to understand how your marketing works so that you know how to have powerful conversations about people that will take it over for you.
Empowerment is understanding how your company works, not just your modality. Sure, you might be able to take a blood draw, send it off to Boston Heart Labs and get a functional analysis and be able to read that. Sure, you might be able to take a genetic test and tell people what they should be doing with their life. But do you really understand how to run your company? Do you really understand what it takes to speak the right words so you're talking like people think, so they resonate with you and they want to hire you and they want to talk to you? Do you know how to have those conversations? That's why Impact is unique, because we build it to empower you. And I get it. We all want to just go out there and just find somebody to do it for us. We just want to hand them our credit card and have magic sauce happen. And all of a sudden our bank account is filled with $1 million. I get it, but it doesn't work like that. It has never worked like that. And the only thing consistent that we know, Ellie, is what? Stuff is going to change.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Stuff is going to change. So you've got to be ready, empowered for that change. We also built Impact to be human and accessible. And this is what's really important. This is why we said it's not an AI or a bot or something like that. That when it comes to the health and wellness space, that we are dealing with real human beings with real problems. They're people's moms and dads, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, best friends and colleagues. And so we made Impact human and accessible. And accessible meaning that is accessible, and we'll talk about flexible in a second, but accessible meaning that if you've got a brand new business and you just went through Institute of Integrative Nutrition and got your health coaching certification like I did, or just became board certified, and you want to get out there and you want to change careers, we made it accessible for you. Or if you've got a 25-year-old functional medicine practice and you're a naturopathic doctor, right? It's accessible for you too. So that's what's really cool about this. And then, well, what about business and marketing is usually the most common word that begins with a B? Boring, right? It's usually boring. So we really wanted to try and have fun. If you've been following Ellie and I for a while, or even if you're brand new to Move Think Smile, you'll learn that we treat health entrepreneurship like a course in obstacles. And so we tackle this like a Spartan race. And we did that for years and years. We got like 175 races under our belts. We ran elite and did some things like that. People looked at us like we're nuts, but we incorporated the idea from being out on the obstacle course, like on NBC battling American Ninja Warriors, which we actually did, which is the hardest damn thing I've ever done in my life, and brought that over to business growth, but also trying to make this adventurous and fun. So it's just not boring. And it's just like, oh God, I have to do this. Like, we don't want it to be like that. So Impact is unique that way. Now, we also made Impact super flexible. And Elia, you can kind of talk to this a little bit. Like I said, it's accessible for newer existing businesses, right?
Yes, yes. And I think you just described it really well there on that last slide of what we're looking at there. And it's definitely multi-level. So, leadership, team, or consultants. So again, everything that we are teaching our clients we love for the business owner to be that sole or to be the main primary person, but sometimes the business person has someone on their team that is doing this job, and we can help them do their job better, and we can really help the whole system work better.
Yeah. So what it means by multi-level is what seniority are you in the company? If you're the owner, yes, Impact can work for you. If you've got a champion on your team you want to send it to, cool, it can work for you. If you're a business coach or a consultant to health and wellness companies, this can definitely work for you and give you some really cool skills. You'll be very interested in this. It also works for if you're brick and mortar, yes. If you're online, cool. Or if you're a hybrid of the two. And we see so many companies out there saying, hey, build an online business and make a ton of money. Well, you can do that. But there are a lot of health companies that want to stay brick and mortar. They want to serve their regional area. And so Impact is flexible. It can work for you. Or if you are an online health coach, work with people around the world, it has that flexibility because it's not a one size regimented fix all concrete kind of thing. And then, Ellie, it can work for any type of profit model, correct?
Yes. So hybrid systems, insurance-based and cash-based, a combination of the two, however you like to go. We've been able to work with clients in both of those scenarios, and it's been very powerful. Yeah.
And what's
Hybrids are a very powerful combo.
Well, insurance-based models, which a lot of brick and mortars have, like Deepa, if you didn't see the interview I did with her, she's a registered dietitian, had her practice for like 15 years, completely insurance-based. And of course, a lot of people are complaining about insurance, especially now, because what's happening are insurance companies they're dictating if you get paid. And a lot of times they're cutting the rates. And then sometimes they're even coming back months later, like they did with Shannon Freeman, and saying, oh, I'm sorry, they're not covered. We're going to take that money back from you months later. And it's just really making it hard to grow the business. But there is a way to take the insurance-based system and turn it into an amazing lead magnet, right? An amazing lead source and convert people into a higher value client using impact seekers. But it's all in the messaging, right? It's all in the structure and how you're doing things. Impact is also flexible because it can work for any company size. And it's kind of like we talked about newer existing businesses. So if you're like a solopreneur, cool, it can work for you. If you've got a practice with 85 practitioners in it, it can work for you too. It's just, really learning that what we're doing here is we're not trying to, again, we're not making healthcare elite. What we're doing is we're making healthcare a lot more accessible to people by getting to the root cause so they don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next 10 years managing and mitigating symptoms.
And I think it's important to say, it might be going through someone's head of like, well, this almost sounds like a one size fits all because it kind of sounds like it's for everyone. But I think what's important here is understand, again, we've got the four key areas: structure, messaging, marketing, and your sales. And it's really important. These four areas really impact the level of growth that you are going to be able to get. And with each company we work with, some companies are going to spend a little bit more time in some areas than others. And that is why it can be very unique depending on, again, if you're small, medium, or large. And that's really important. And then, as Adam said, multidiscipline, so regulated or unregulated occupations as well.
Meaning if you're a regulated practitioner, you're a medical doctor, a nurse practitioner, physician assistant, a doctor of physical therapy, a chiropractor, it definitely works there. And it works for the unregulated people like Ellie and I. Ellie is a life coach. I'm just a health coach. That's all I am. But if we can take a fatigue program and go from $0 to $267,000 in 12 months, and that was our first program that we did back in the day where Mood Think Smile got started. Yeah, it can work. And we've got, we could talk about some of the big wins we've had where we've got brick and mortar practices, and a functional medical doctor went from $20K a month to $60,000 in the first 30 days of putting in an impact system, right? Even though he was out there trying to do marketing and actually spent $45,000 on a local radio ad campaign and made zero money from it. That's not fun. And if you're not tainted from marketing, but it's like, okay, I know there's a better way. And that's what we did. And last but not least, it does work for any wellness-based niche. It works for health, obviously, including weight loss, which is the most cutthroat niche out there. And I can give an example like our client, Maria. She was a physician assistant. She was working in clinics. She did not enjoy it. She was also a health coach. She wanted to get out. She created a weight loss program, or we helped her create a weight loss program. And in the first 6 days, she enrolled 26 clients. Not too bad, right? But she didn't know how to do it. It also works in your relationship space. So Jake, a licensed professional counselor that I'm actually going to be doing an interview with later this week, he's in a relationship space. In the first 28 days, he did $112,000 and saved 38 marriages, all from one email that we sent out. So before, he was stuck just doing this one-on-one kind of thing. Low ticket models, was really kind of capped at how much he could scale. We'll kind of talk about that too. So what we're saying here is impact is flexible. Impact works for existing companies, and we could go through all this all day long. You could come see our screenshots and stuff like this. We'll put a link that you guys can come and see things. It works for new businesses. These are some of the screenshots from the new businesses that we've worked with. And what it really comes down to is you're going to want to put an impact-driven profit system to your company if, number one, you want to help people overcome health and wellness challenges. If you're dead serious about tipping the scales from sickness to wellness, this is for you. And Elia?
Yeah. And I think, as you just popped up there on the slide, it's really about saving clients and patients $160,000 over traditional healthcare. And again, this number is pretty big. This is over a 10-year span. But when we look at diseases of lifestyle, on average, most people are spending anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to $16,000 per year managing symptoms and managing chronic illnesses that are not getting better. And so I want everybody to think about, if you can go in and help someone. Now, we understand, right? You can't create magic, but if you can come in and really help someone make those lifestyle changes and get the support that they need, you can absolutely save them thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every year. That adds up to huge numbers over a decade.
This is important because it is about saving people money and helping them with their health. And it works for any disease or dysfunction that can be significantly improved through your services and what you do. Impact is designed, if you want at least 100 grand added to your bottom line. And we mean bottom line, we don't mean 100 grand sales. We mean 100 grand profit take home, right? After expenses. If you want at least that, you should seriously think about putting in an impact-driven profit system. If you want to add new high impact offer into a wellness business in the next 28 days and start enrolling people next month, then impact is for you. This is something that could work very, very quickly. And I could go case study after case study after case study of people who in the first 9 days, brought in their first clients and made 10 to 15 grand profit. I could go case study where like Jake did 112 grand in the first 28 days. I mean, like all kinds of things are happening out there.
Yeah. So let's talk about we'll go through this, but I was going to say, and how those 4 areas we really dive in with people.
Right. So get impact if you're really looking to save money over ad agencies and third parties. And Elliot, can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, well, I think here, this is a big one. And I was actually having a conversation with a woman just the other day where she's like, again, we had the conversation of, well, I just want to hire somebody to do it for me, all this marketing stuff. She's like, but I don't really know how much it costs. And I said, well, you're going to find on average that having to hire someone to do your marketing for you, to do funnels for you and bring in leads is going to be anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000. Again, that's probably on the low end, but just a ballpark. And so if you're hiring this person at that rate over a year at the low end, you're going to spend $24,000 on the low end. So I was just asking her, it's like, what if you had somebody on your team or even yourself or someone that, is willing to take this on? And why don't you just pay them and have them be a permanent part of your company? So they really understand the company. They're not just, having 2 or 3 or 4 conversations with you that last maybe an hour or two to get some insight into your company so that then they can run your ads and run all your campaigns for you. No, this person lives within your company, is part of the ecosystem. So this is a really important piece. And she's like, I never thought about that before. So it's something.
Yeah. And I can
Something
tell you right now, if you're going to go hire a $2,000 a month ad company, if you don't know how to manage them, you're paying Walmart price and you're going to get Walmart results.
Mhm.
That's just what's going to happen. So, and not only is it spending 24 grand, you got to look at the ROI, the return on your ad spend. Like, are you actually going to get that back from them? And it's very rare that we see a 5 to 10 return on a $2,000 to $5,000 a month agency. So just something to kind of think out there when it's just looking at the marketing. Impact is also for people who are seriously about, as Ellie was talking about, getting the skills. These are like graduate level skills that I had to go to Northwestern University to get, that we're offering for people. If you want to go spend 130 grand getting a master's degree from Northwestern University, go for it. And if you want to spend 2 years to do that, to try and figure it out, go for it. But if you'd like to like speed up time and like start making things happen in the next month or two, the impact system might be for you. So an impact system is all about creating your impact zone. And there are 3 very distinct areas here I want everybody to pay attention to. One, we want to optimize your streams of revenue and profit. Revenue and profit. So many people out there just look at sales, but they don't look at the profit margin. You've got to look at those together if you want to have a successful company that you don't hate going to have to work every day. Number 2, it's about maximizing client results, because you've got to be able to get out there and get the strongest results for the people you're working with in the shortest period of time. If you're not doing that, this stuff doesn't work. And then number 3, you've got to maximize your own time freedom, right? So we see a lot of people out there who've got great revenue and even great profit and even great client results, but they're putting in 80 hours a week and they just don't enjoy what they do. And they can't go do anything that they wanted to do in the first place, like why they started this thing. And so when you overlap these 3 areas together, that's when you get the impact zone. And that's what an impact-driven profit system does. And the reality is, Ellie has been talking about structure, messaging, marketing, and rolling, like the 4 key components of it. It's simple. It really is simple, but there's nothing easy about this stuff. And here's how you can build an impact-driven profit system that impacts more clients, more sales, and more profits. Number 1, well, let's talk about structure, Elia. This is all about uncovering hidden revenue, right?
Yes. So here, for those just starting out, it's about understanding, okay, what is my focus? What is my offer? What is my niche? Who do I really want to help? What do I want to speak to? And how do I want to structure my business, my health coaching business or my life coaching business? But also for those in the established phase of companies, it's exactly as Adam said, uncovering hidden revenue. It's okay, let's look at how you have your services priced. Do you have packages? What does all of that look like? What does it look like when someone comes in from the very beginning of their experience with your company to when they leave your company? So really looking at, okay, even if we can increase profits by just, 5, 10, 20%, even if we go on the low end there, it has a massive impact on your company over time for growth. And if you're in this, and if you're wanting your company to last over the years and the decades, and you're committed to this, you're going to want to start thinking those long-term profitability margins.
And a great example is our client Barb, who was a personal trainer / nutritionist. And she basically had a personal trainer boot camp thing that she was doing where I can't remember. It was like $85 or $95 or something like that. And her profit margin was like 20 something percent. And then we helped her restructure the way she was doing things. And she net $37,000 in just 12 new clients. Like that's how powerful that can be. Finding hidden revenue that's already existing. Once we have the structure down, it's all about messaging. And it's all about, okay, how do we repel the less than amazing people, the magic pill seekers, the people we don't want? How do we attract the impact seekers? It's all about taking anything you say in a conversation or you write in a post or an email or a letter, if you want to go old school, that takes people from who the heck is this practitioner person to, oh my gosh, thank you for changing my health. Thank you for taking my credit card. Thank you for making my life better. That's what powerful messaging does. It's communicating your true impact. Then once we have that, it's like, okay, well, if structure is a proverbial shop and messaging is a sign, where do we put the sign? And this is when marketing comes into play. And there's internal versus external marketing. And external, most people don't realize they have a warm network. There are people who are familiar with who they are, even if they don't think they have one. And so do you need to go out there and do this massive content marketing strategy? Probably not. Do you need to go out there and do social media blitzing? Probably not. Do you need to do a paid advertising campaign? Probably not the beginning. Now, once you go through, and this is what we call warm network marketing, and it's actually a type of funnel that most people overlook, that once you pick the low-hanging fruit, and if you want to scale further, you will need to do external marketing. And the reality is any marketing strategy out there can work, but do you really want to do content marketing? For some people it works and they love doing it, but it takes a lot of time. Do you really want to have a Facebook group? For some people it works, but it takes time. It takes human resources. It takes sweat equity. Or do you just want things to be automated and you just want to do a paid ad campaign? That's where we're talking about integrative marketing and making sure that we're designing the right tools that are fit for your business. Then once we have the marketing down, it all comes down to, and this is what we see all the time, Ellie. It's like getting leads on people's calendar is like butter for us, right? It's like the easiest thing in the world. But what happens with leads when they're coming in the door, right? You've got to be able to convert them into a paying client.
Yep.
Right? When they're raising their hands, like what do you say when that person comes into your shop, whether it's brick and mortar and opens a door, or if they're literally coming to your virtual shop, or you're having a Zoom with them, or you're having a telephone call with them. And so we see one of the biggest things people do not have in the health and wellness space. And it's so funny. People will say, yeah, my conversion rate's great. It's like, well, your conversion rate's great because you have a referral system and good for you. But these people are being totally warmed up because their friend just told them how badass you are. And so they're already ready to buy. But how is your conversion rate when you've got cold traffic coming in who's somebody who just like heard of you and only knows you for 24 hours? How are you going to convert them? How are you going to take them from click to client in 72 hours if your price is like at $3,000 or $5,000? So sales is really about increasing that conversion rate. And this is what we call functional business growth. Ellie, anything you want to stack on top of that?
Well, I think if we just, look in these 4 areas, like I said, this is the power of growth. And we, some of the things that we see people struggling with in these areas, like if we look at structure, a lot of times people are wanting to have, almost too many offers, or they're helping too many variations of people, or they're struggling to kind of like figure out, again, who's their main ideal client. And when that happens, then the messaging gets muddy because they're not really sure exactly who they're speaking to, or they're trying to speak to everyone, or they're doing messaging, but it's like, they're not really sure if anybody's responding, or they have an email list, but they're not being consistent in sending out their emails. And so they're wondering why nothing is happening when they only email once a month or once every couple weeks. And so, that's just kind of sitting there as sort of that uncovered, hidden revenue. And then when it comes to marketing, same thing. They can get very confused on what is the right strategy. There is a lot of information out there. There's a lot of things to choose from. So not being sure how to really gauge what the right choice is for them. And that's a struggle and keeps people stuck from taking action, which is difficult. And then in the sales area, what we see a lot of times is, again, just people feeling, oftentimes there's this uncomfort around selling when it comes to health services. There can be that uncomfort, or they're really trying to sell too much of their services and not enough of the transformation their clients can get. So there's a lot of little areas in here where people can start stumbling up. But this is why it's important that we look at all 4 of these in order to get that machine really humming so it can grow.
Right. And then 5th, when you get those 4 areas, structure, messaging, marketing, sales going, then that's when you impact more clients, right? You impact your sales, positively impact, and you positively impact the take-home pay. And again, I want to stress business bioindividuality. This is not a one-size-fits-all thing. Yes, it's very flexible, and it has to be flexible because one-size-fits-all doesn't work. It just doesn't. You have a different business. You're a different person. You have a different offer. You have different skills. You have different obstacles. You have different challenges. The only thing that's the same between all the companies out there is that we all have challenges. That's the only thing that's the same, but every one of them looks different. We have different audiences. We have different targets. Even though at the top, at the surface level, it's like I help moms in corporate lose weight. It's like, cool, that's surface level, but your market's very different than Jane's market, who at surface level is the same thing. And so you've got to honor the bioindividuality of your business. And this is why getting out there and just getting a marketing funnel often flails. It often flops. It's more than just the marketing. You've got to look at all these areas if you really want to grow a company, if you really want to impact people's lives. Now, if we look at impact victory, I'm going to do a really quick job of taking you through this. This is what we call the clock-based model versus impact-driven. A clock-based model is where you're trading time for money. You have billable sessions. You have you're billing by the hour. You're taking insurance. You've got discounted packages and stuff like that. When you're on a clock-based system, that's when you're attracting magic pill seekers instead of versus an impact-driven system. And we have impact areas of human and profit. So we have the unselfish reason of why we're doing this, and that's why we're impacting people's lives. And then we have the selfish reason of why we're doing this, and that is because we want to have a good income. And we firmly believe that if you're out there changing someone's lives, you're allowed to have a good income and enjoy it along the way. So if you look at clock-based models, as far as human impact goes, well, we know that their long-term success rates are really low. Like somebody comes into you, they work with you a couple of times, they might have some symptom relief, they might show some quick success, but only 1 to 3% of them carry this long-term for the rest of their lives. As far as how much money do they save over healthcare, as far as like Western medicine, sickness-based healthcare, managing and mitigating symptoms, well, it's too low to measure. So we can't really tell if they're actually saving money. And instead we think they're losing about 16 to 17 grand a year by being stuck in that system. Versus an impact-driven system, well, we know we've got statistics that you have high long-term success rates. So instead of 1 to 3%, we're now talking 90 to 93%. That is a giant leap. If you know anything about statistics, that is significant. And then they have significant sick savings. Again, we're going to highlight more than $10,000 a year. That means, let's say the first year you help somebody with diabetes get their blood sugar under control, sticks with them for the rest of their life. You charge, I don't know, 5 grand. You save them 12 grand in year 1. Then over the next 10 years, they've got a great life and all this cool stuff you can't even put a price on. And you put $160,000 back into their pocket. And if you look at it, the cumulative, and if you're looking to make $100,000 in your company, all the people that you're working with, that's like $14 million that you're helping people save, that you're taking out of sick care and you're putting it back into families' pockets. I mean, if that isn't cool, I don't know what else is. Now let's look at the profit impact for the company. So when you're on a clock-based system, trading time for money, the profit margins are typically low, more often than not between 5% to 20%. In order to hit $100,000 in profit, you need volume. You need 1,000 to 4,000 clients in a given period to hit $100,000 in profit. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of sessions. That's a lot of time you got to be put into it. Versus an impact-driven system, we have higher profit margins. Typically, we see this. The lowest we've seen is 40%. And that's with a brick and mortar with tons and tons of expenses and loans. 40% all the way up to 97%. And those are going to be the fully online people where they only have payment processing as an overhead item. And that $100,000 profit, well, there's a lot less client load. They only need 25 to 112 clients to get there. So I really want to highlight the victory of how important this is, because when you do that, that's how we transfer from the magic pill seeker over to the impact seeker. So Ellie, real quick, let's talk about a few case studies and what it can do. And so this is Dr. Deakins. We do work with a couple Jakes, so don't get them confused. They are different people. So this Dr. Jake Deakins, he's got a functional practice, and his revenue in the first 30 days of launching, he works with erectile dysfunction, went from 20K to 60K in the first 30 days. His profit margin went from 2% to, I think it was 66%. And that's something he posted right there. It's like, hey, this stuff just works. It's really awesome. And then we have Ingrid. She's a physical therapist, and she did something really cool. Ellie, what did she do?
Yeah, so she closed her brick and mortar location and actually decided to take her physical therapy practice online. And I know that might sound a little crazy, but she was able to do it. It's really important for her to be able to be a mom and to take care of her kids. And so she moved her practice online. And I think what's really important is, what I love about this is that you can work with just a couple clients a month if you want to, and still be able to make a living and be able to support your family and have the time you need. Or if you want to go gangbusters, you can go all out and put this into a big company and really increase those profits. So that's what I love about this, is that it allows that room for different types of lifestyles.
Right. And so Ingrid literally works online less than 10 hours a week while raising 3 kids. Right. And she's got to practice. Close her physical doors. What physical therapy can work online only? So just to give you an example, brick and mortar, Dr. Jake Deakins, we used to work brick and mortar, now does online only. And then we've got people like Barb, nutritionist PT. We talked about her earlier. Literally, she took her $75 boot camp, went from like that, like I said, 20-something% margin up to 97% and did $37,000 net profit in her first 12 clients. And that's her little post that she made when she did that. And what we're really happy about And this is actually an old picture. The stats have changed since we made this. And this is another Jake that we work with. And he's a licensed professional counselor in the relationship space who literally it was originally 38 sales calls in the first 24 hours, but then ended up being, I think, 88 sales calls total in the first couple of weeks. And at a 33% conversion rate. And in the first 28 days, actually did $112,000. $112,000. And is saving marriages. And it's super, super cool what's going on out there. And here's what his assistant, Pam, posted literally from one email. Oh, I've done 82 Zoom interviews. We've enrolled 28 couples at 4K each for 112 grand. So there's the stats right there. There's the stats right there.
And I think these examples are all really important. And at the same time, I know when you're sitting in the other side of the screen or your shoes and you're like, okay, this sounds really great. This, this happened for them. Could this happen for me? And I think that that's a really important question. And it's something that, we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear from you, like what you like about this idea, what questions that you have about this, and even questions about the people that you're seeing here about how they were able to do this. Because it's important to be able to see if some of these people who resonate with you can do it, you can do it too.
Yeah. So we've got Deepa, registered dietitian. She's the one who leveraged the insurance model that she already had in place. Took lifetime value, basically sales per patient from $400 to $3,000. And that was super cool. We got Ed, a nurse practitioner. He's got a fertility program right now. In the first 24 hours of launching that, he got a $7,500 pay in full. And then we could go on and on and on, from health coaches to life coaches to acupuncturists to Pilates instructors to yoga teachers to all kinds of modalities in the holistic space, nutritionists, registered dietitians, physician assistants, nurse practitioners. And just, we could go on forever. Like, we've been doing this for a long time, guys. Like, we really know what impact systems are, and case study after case study, and what can really, really happen. And I think what's really to just kind of end this one this is my favorite one right here that Victoria posted. And it's like, help, I've got a huge win. The client that I'm working with wants to know how much it's going to be to continue working with me when she's done with her 12 weeks because she's enjoying it so much. So right then and there, guys, like, that is what an impact-driven system is. And if this is something that you're interested in investigating further, we invite you to come over to movethinksmile.com/apply. And there's going to be a recap of this video there. In fact, there's a little bit shorter version there that you can watch. And then there's a button that says, hey, book your impact session. You can click on that. It'll take you through a little form to see if you qualify. And if you do qualify, you could talk to one of us. You might speak to Ellie or myself or someone on the team. And we can really just have an honest conversation and take a look at your business. We're happy to review your marketing. We're happy to look at your messaging. We're happy to look at the constraints that you might be facing, because typically what we're going to see is you're dealing with one of two constraints: time and or cash flow. And it's happening because, well, the way things are structured, the leads that are coming in are converting at the level you want to. There's not enough profit in the cash flow that you are bringing in. And so if that's something you're interested in, come on over to movethinksmile.com/apply. We'd love to chat with you. Elia, anything else before we take off for today?
I think the only thing, I just really want to impress upon everybody is just to remember those 4 key areas in your business. And I want you to think about these key areas and how each of these areas, if you had to give them a health checkup, how would you rank the health of these 4 areas? The structure of your business, what you're selling, what your profit margins are, what you're saying about your business. Are you sending emails? Are you posting social media? What's the health there? Your marketing, and of course your sales process, because all 4 of these areas need a health checkup. And if you want to really be able to powerfully grow.
So remember, everybody, we made impact. I'm going to get to this first slide again, to make this world healthier while having a great income. So just remember that. And if that's something you're interested in, see if this would work for your business, your health and wellness company. The requirement we have is you've got a health and wellness company and you have the expertise or the ability or the method or the system or the process to help somebody really improve a physical, mental, or emotional health and wellness problem. Or it can be a combination of those 3. So come over to movethinksmile.com/apply and let's chat soon. Take care, everybody. Until next time.